Hi, Runaway Franchise. It's me, Brandon. You know, the guy that tried breaking the record several times? Well, I've decided to save you, Ed, the trouble by giving you my leagues via video. I'm going to try and do it as fast as I can because you know what? Seeing as I'm on it, I'm at war on two fronts here. One side being my wife breaking the record, beating me, and then the other side, this mysterious Zodiac killer, whoever you are. I got to do this. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging. I'm going to break this record. I'm going to retire, and I'm going to do short ones. But if somebody beats me on this one, I swear on my life that I'm coming back with a vengeance. So, feel free and edit this down if you need to save time. But I'm going to go as quick as I can. All right. Jurassic Park was written by Michael Crichton, 1. He also wrote Eaters of the Dead. William Wisher, 2, wrote the screenplay for the film of that novel titled The 13th Warrior. He co-wrote the screenplay for Terminator 2 alongside James Cameron, 3. He also directed and co-wrote the screenplay for Aliens with fellow co-writer Walter Hill, 4. He also co-wrote with Harry Klein, 5, for the Arnie movie Red Heat. Klein worked with David Duncan, 6, in writing the adaptation of The Fantastic Voyage. Duncan wrote for the 1963 episode The Human Factor of The Outer Limits. However, Leonard J. Horne, 7, wrote 3 episodes of the show around the same time. Horne would end up writing several episodes of the show Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea in the late 1960s, as well as James B. Clark, 8. Clark also wrote some episodes of the show Legends of Jesse James around the same time. Dean Bart Petticlerk, 9. Petticlerk, known for his writing in Western shows, also created and wrote many episodes of the show Then Came Bronson. Another writer for that show was T.Y. Drake, 10, who also wrote the movie Terror Train and didn't bother giving credit to Judith Rasco, 11. Judith was known for writing the screenplay for the movie Endless Love based on the novel of the same name written by Scott Spencer, 12. Spencer co-wrote the screenplay for Split Image with Robert Mark Kamen, 13. Kamen wrote for The Fifth Element with Luc Besson, 14, as director and co-writer. Besson wrote The Big Blue, or Le Grand Bleu en français, with Ray Galton, 15, the same screenplay writer that worked on Sanford and Son in the 1970s. Galton wrote the same amount of SAS episodes as Alan Simpson, 16, but he'd worked with fellow writer Dennis Burson, 17, on Frankie Howard on Campus. Burson had written several episodes of the Celebrity Squares alongside Colin Edmonds, 18, toward the end of the show's run. Edmonds was also a script associate for the Man Oh Man, where Simon Greenall, 19, just happened to be one too. Mr. Greenall wrote a couple episodes of the show This Way Up, as well as screenplay for John O'Farrell, 20. O'Farrell wrote an episode of Clive Anderson Talks Back, featuring none other than Clive Anderson, 21. Clive is a lesser-known host of Whose Line Is It Anyways before Drew Carey, 22. Drew co-wrote for the 2001 TV movie House of Cards alongside fellow writer Sam Simon, 23. Sam also wrote for It's Gary Shandling Show alongside decade-plus SNL episode writer Alan Zwiebel, 24. Alan also worked alongside fellow episode writer Tim Kazurinsky, 25. Alan worked alongside fellow episode writer Tim Kazurinsky, 25. Tim also wrote for the movie For Keeps, directed by John G. Avildsen, 26. He also happened to direct the 1976 Rocky, you know, the movie starring and written by our boy Sly Sylvester Stallone, 27. Good old Sly co-wrote the screenplay for Cliffhanger with fellow co-writer Michael France, 28. France co-wrote the screenplay for 2003's Hulk, as well as John Turman, 29. Turman co-wrote Crow, Stairway to Heaven with fellow writer Naomi Jensen, 30. She also co-wrote Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, Tale of the Lonely Ghost. That was directed by DJ McHale, 31. DJ also wrote the Tower of Terror Disney TV movie where Stephen McNutt, 32, was cinematographer. McNutt did cinematography work on the 2000s Battlestar Galactica. Ronald D. Moore, 33, wrote the first episode of the show titled 33. He unfortunately helped make and written Mission Impossible 2 with the help of the story by Brannon Braga, 34. Braga was also a writer on Star Trek Next Generation and wrote the episode All Good Things. That was directed by Winrich Colby, 35. Colby would go on to direct the episode that was written by Ira Stephen Bear, 36, titled Chosen, of the revived Twilight Zone series. Bear had written the teleplay for a few episodes of the show Fame around the same time Donald Riker did too, 37. Riker would later write an episode for the Lion King spin-off Timon and Pumbaa's Wild Adventures, much like Nancy Neufeld-Callaway, 38, had. Callaway had written some episodes for In Living Color, but the series was created and mostly written by Keenan Ivory Waynes, 39. KIW wrote the movie Most Wanted, but was directed by Dave Hogan, 40. Hogan was the second unit director of Batman Forever, which was co-written by Akiva Goldsman, 41. Goldsman had written A Beautiful Mind, where Ed Harris, 42, played the part of Parcher. My guy, Ed Harris, didn't just star in Appaloosa, he even wrote the screenplay, like his buddy Robert Knott did, 43. Knott had a role as Len Carsley in the novel to miniseries The Stand, written by Stephen Can't Write a Fucking Ending King, 44. Besides bad endings, the King of Horror wrote Dreamcatcher. Enough said. William Goldman, 45, wrote the screenplay for the movie. Goldman should have stuck with the genres he's good at, like his book and movie that he wrote, The Princess Bride. Y'all might remember Inigo Montoya, played by Mandy Patinkin, 46. He would end up performing the song What Can You Lose? In the movie Dick Tracy, co-written by Jim Cash, 47. Cash wrote Top Gun with screenplay by Warren Scarron, 48. Scarron did the screenplay for 1989's Batman with Sam Hamm, 49. Ham went full ham in helping R.L. Stine, 50, write the short R.L. Stine's Haunted House. When he brought his creations to TV, he had help from Dan Angel, 51, in writing some of the episodes. Angel co-wrote the story of the X-Files episode All Souls with Billy Brown, 52. Brown had a short stint writing episodes in a season of SNL alongside series creator Lorne Michaels, 53. Michaels helped Steve Martin, 54, write the movie Three Amigos. Steve Martin is known for starring and co-writing the screenplay for The Jerk with fellow writer Carl Gottlieb, 55. Gottlieb co-wrote with Peter Benchley, 56, your favorite shark movie, guys, or second favorite movie, Jaws. Benchley, author of your second favorite shark movies novel, couldn't keep us out of the water and wrote the novel of the show The Beast, in which J.B. White, 57, wrote the teleplay for. J.B. and Gene Abonador, 58, co-wrote the story for the 12 Days of Christmas Eve. Gene previously wrote the story for Her Best Friend's Husband, and Dwayne Poole, 59, wrote the teleplay. Poole wrote a bunch of episodes of The Smurfs, but not as much as Mark Scott Zicree, 60. Zicree would later write an episode of the short-lived cartoon James Bond Jr. that was developed by and also written by Michael G. Wilson, 61. Wilson helped write the screenplay for the Ian Fleming, 62, short story turned movie, 13th official Eon Productions James Bond movie, Octopussy. You know, the one where Roger Moore dressed up as a clown? Ian Fleming also wrote the story The Poppy is Also a Flower, which became a movie with the help of the screenplay written by Joe Eisinger, 63. Eisinger also wrote a couple of episodes of Philip Marlowe, Private Eye, as well as Raymond Chandler, 64. Chandler co-wrote the screenplay for The Strangers on a Train with Zenci Armand, 65. Armand and Tommy Lee Wallace, 66, co-wrote the teleplay for the TV movie Once You Meet a Stranger. Wallace brought to us as director and writer Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, with the unfortunate and uncredited help from John Carpenter, 67. Carpenter co-wrote Escape from New York with writer Nick Castle, 68. Castle helped co-write the screen story of my favorite Peter Pan movie, Hook, with fellow writer James V. Hart, 69. Hart stuck with Pirates and co-wrote the screenplay Muppet Treasure Island with writer Kirk R. Thatcher, 70. Thatcher was familiar with writing about puppets because he wrote a few episodes of Dinosaurs alongside Jim Henson, 71. Henson wrote The Dark Crystal. Netflix, please bring it back, with the help of screenplay writer David Odell, 72. Odell wrote the movie Masters of the Universe but had it rewritten by Stephen Tolkien, 73. Tolkien wrote the screenplay for the 1990 Captain America based off of the character created by Jack Kirby, 74. The legendary Jack Kirby also created the Norse thunder god hero-based hero Thor that would end up being used for Thor Ragnarok. Screenplay was co-written by Christopher Yost, 75. Yost wrote some episodes of Star Wars Rebels, but did he create Star Wars? No. That was George Lucas, 76. Praise be to CGI. Lucas helped write the screenplay for Captain EO. What? As did Francis Ford Coppola. 77. What? FFC is most famous known most famous for working on The Godfather, writing the screenplay for it. But Mario Puzo wrote 78 wrote the novel and helped with the screenplay. Puzo would later help write Superman to the big screen in 1978 with help of Robert Benton's 79 screenplay writing. Benton and Richard Russo, 80, would co-write the screenplay for The Ice Harvest. Russo also co-wrote the screenplay for Keeping Mum with director and writer Neil Johnson, 81. Johnson and Emily Corcoran, 82, co-wrote the screenplay for The Stolen. Corcoran and Gillian McGregor, 83, wrote the TV movie The Fight Room. McGregor wrote the segment Witch's Spring for the movie The Horror of H.P. Lovecraft, as inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, 84. Lovecraft's story, Herbert West, Reanimator, has been adapted to the movie Reanimator with screenwriting by Stuart Gordon, 85. Gordon and Ted Mann, 86, wrote the story for Space Truckers together. Mann wrote 2 episodes of a drama with series creator Gene Roddenberry, 87. Gene's Next Generation series spawned the movie Star Trek Nemesis with screenplay by John Logan, 88. Logan and William Nicholson, 89, wrote the screenplay together for Gladiator. Nicholson and Simon Beaufoy, 90, wrote the screenplay for Everest. Beaufoy and Michael Arndt, 91, did the screenplay for The Hunger Games, Catching Fire. Arndt and Carl Gajewski, 92, wrote the screenplay for Oblivion. Carl had written some episodes of Dead Like Me alongside series creator Brian Fuller, 93. Fuller wrote some episodes of the Tim King, 94, created show Heroes. Tim King also created and wrote the show Crossing Jordan with help from Gary Glassberg, 95, and his writing. Glassberg also wrote 3 episodes of The Mentalist before David Cerrone, 96, wrote his 11 episodes. Cerrone wrote a lot of episodes of Charmed around the same time as David Simkins, 97. Simkins helped series creator and writer Jeff Easton, 98, write 2 episodes of Graceland. Easton also created the show White Collar and had Jeff King, 99, write an episode. Jeff King wrote some episodes of Stargate SG-1 alongside series writer Brad Wright, 100. Brad Wright wrote nearly 20 episodes over the course of The Outer Limits' revival from the late 90s, during which Duncan Kennedy, 101, wrote an episode as well. Which brings me to our boy Duncan co-writing the movie Deep Blue Sea. Boom! I dare anybody to break that frickin' bar. Don't even bother going beyond 101. I took it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to go start doing short ones. I'm never doing a long one ever again. I'm sorry, Ed, that I ever did this to you, but if somebody breaks this goddamn record, I'm coming back with a vengeance. I swear on it. Guys, have a great night.